Hi, I'm Greg from RVHaulers, and we have an update on the RVHauler build named ERNIE. This 2011 Volvo 730 behind me is here in the shop, and we're doing a few upgrades to them before we put the bed on. Let me take you around this RVHauler and show you what we're working on today. Underneath the sleeper, we've installed new airbags and new shocks for a nice ride. ERNIE's been singled. You can see we've rebuilt the exhaust as a weed burner. There's the nice new painted drive shafts. And Nate and Joe are starting to work on putting all the wiring to the hitch. I'll come a little closer and show you what we're working on there. So the back of the frame was extended about 18 inches. And also the bumper pull hitch was installed. That's been fully sandblasted and painted with a commercial grade paint. Nate and Joe just got the hitch connected, so we've got our air lines to the leveling valve as well as the air line that runs down to the airbags underneath. Put some protection on those air lines so we don't get any wear. And here we've got these haven't been hooked up yet, but when the bed is installed, these air lines are the ones that are going to go to the glad hands that are on the back of the bed. And right here, these are the wires that go, this is the wire that feeds the backup lights to the Jackalope. We've got some camera cabling that's pre-installed. And of course, here's our trailer wire. We'll be putting a proper end on this. This is just a temporary one that we use when we're towing our chase vehicle behind these trucks. Joe's been working inside of ERNIE. So we have the direct link brake controller installed underneath the dash in our usual place. It's behind this panel. There's the connection point into the ODB network. I'll pop up here and show you a dash all taken apart. So we have migrated switches over to this location so that we can install the cab cam hitch monitoring point. It's got a little protective plastic on here, that's why that screen looks funny. But Joe was tying those things in. Those wires have all been fed across and through firewall underneath the truck to the back of the truck. I will point out that this monitoring system, these cameras and this display, is all a wired solution. The wireless solutions I found are a little bit unreliable, and these ones are just something that we know we can always count on. And the few extra minutes it takes to run the wires through the dash and underneath the truck, we find are just really worth it to get a better reliable connection to the cameras. Here at the front firewall, I'll show you where those wires come through for the camera system. We have a rubber grommet that's in the firewall right there, and this is the camera wire that comes through, and then the cable goes underneath the sleeper, and we tie it up underneath the whole way back to the hitch. Here in the jockey box on the driver's side, we have the Jackalope installed. So here's our wiring coming from what used to run to the trailer, and it's all getting converted inside this device, running out to our rear hitch point. And here's that green wire I was showing you, which is going to feed the backup light in here, because in the commercial standard there's no backup light. You have to pull that from the truck. Then this flat gray wire is the one that feeds power and ground to the direct link brake controller. And of course our blue feed of the electric brake signal comes back through this same wire. So everything for the brake controller is serviced through this gray wire. It's easier for troubleshooting. One of our next tasks is to upgrade the low and the high beam incandescent lights that are in here to the deep space lighting Xenon upgrades. The low beams on these factory Volvos housings are really poor. You've probably heard me talk about that before. So we're going to be putting in David Dixon's deep space lighting Xenons. But I wanted to talk to my customer about the condition of this housing itself. You'll see we're starting to get some good little bit of cracking, and there's significant hazing in this lens. It's one that I think is beyond repair. It's something that we could not sand and polish out. If we look at the passenger side in comparison, you can see, just look at the clarity, that you can see the real difference. It's got a couple bugs on it, but look at the difference in clarity between that lens and this lens. So you can see the yellowing and the hazing. What I would like to propose to our customer is I've got a headlight takeoff. So this is a genuine Volvo headlight. We took this off of another truck, and you get a little bit of marking here. There's actually some headlight protective film over the bottom, but it's a super clear light, and I'd like to propose that upgrading this headlight really isn't worth it. I think we should put on this takeoff instead. So Nate's going to install the bead balancing bead. These are a brand new bead. It's a new design. It's got actually some really cool electromagnetic kind of, what would you call it, Nate? Almost like a static electricity on these things, and it adheres to the outside of the tire well more so than the standard beads do. Really cool product. This has been brought out in Canada, and Nate's going to install them now. So the nice thing about this new technique that we're using is we don't have to compromise the bead of the tire on the rim. We're able to install these new ones with this new application rather than having to break the bead and drop in a bag. And these are a specialized valve that are a little bit longer, and they protect the beads from getting into that valve and plugging it. Here's the difference between those valves. So there's the new one, and here's a more traditional style. The other thing that comes with these kits is the small new cap. When it has this CBB on there, it lets anyone coming and doing work on the tire know that there's bead balancing inside the tire. So those go on right at the end after we've got our tire pressure. I wanted to show you the seat condition in your Volvo. The driver's seat has been replaced with probably the cheapest seat that you can buy. This one is made by National, and you'll see, you know, it's you get to go up and down, and you've got one back bolster, and that's it. I'm not sure, it's fairly new. The seat cushion itself is quite firm, and it's only a little bit dirty, but it's not bad. Two armrests, it's okay, but when you compare it to what comes with these Volvos from the factory, with all of the three lumbars, two bolsters, height adjustments, those are much superior seats, and the passenger side one is in super condition. Just a little bit of dust on it. You know, you've got two options. You either just run with it and have the nicer seat in the passenger position, or we look at doing a wholesale replacement. I've got some takeoff seats that I'll show you. We're here in my treasure trove of shipping container spare parts. A little behind the scenes here, but I've got some brand new seats. These are National 2000 seats, They have never been used. So what happened is these seats have been taken out of a Volvo semi right from the factory. Sometimes we have some larger framed individuals who don't fit those seats, so right away they change them out. They're called takeoffs. So with my contacts with Volvo, I always try to scoop these seats. They're the full option. All the controls are on the sides. Now those don't match, so I would be able to swap out one of them with one of those. The other option we have is I've got two brand new National 2000 leather seats. So these are, again, brand new. They're matching. We could replace both. And the other option I have is I have these two gray seats. These are made by Gray Mag, very high end as well, and we could do either some match seats, either in gray, leather, brown leather. That's just a part seat that I have, keeping for parts and valves. Or we could replace just the driver's seat and give you one of these brown ones. If you did seat covers, then that would match. Or maybe you're not concerned with the color. Just some options for you. So this has been an update for one of my customers. This is how I communicate with my customers. It's so much more effective to use videos like this rather than taking a bunch of pictures or making phone calls. It lets people make decisions, view it over and over and over again. Thank you for watching. I'm Greg from RVHaulers. I'm sure I'll be getting some feedback as to how my customer wants us to proceed with the headlight and with the seats. Thank you for watching. Bye.